This is the Watchful Citizen, a program brought to you by the Lancaster County Democrats Public Relations Committee. And we have with us today David. David is a Lincoln High School student, a junior this year.
Yeah.
Right? Tomorrow you start classes?
Tuesday.
Tuesday. And he is also a member of the Nebraska Coalition for Peace. And we're just trying to take a look at what a young person has to say about the war and several other issues. And David is very motivated to talk about these issues, and we hope that this is somewhat inspiring to some of you who are sitting there watching this show. On that note, David, how would you encourage people to get involved?
Contact your, first off, start out by the simple message is that contact your friends, family, co-workers, things like that, and sort of tell them that, you know, peace does not have an agenda. I think we can all agree with peace, and just start off with that dialogue and sort of lead into other things, you know, supporting the troops by bringing them home, support a useful dialogue, and just sort of start with your friends, coworkers, students, you know, things like that. Just the very simple things, and then sort of go off from there. You can join our Coalition for Peace, join Nebraskans for Peace, you know, contact, you know, people through that. And I think that just starting out with a simple dialogue and just a simple, you know, conversation like we're having right now is just the first step.
When does the Coalition for Peace meet?
We meet every Saturday around 2 o'clock. I mean, you can show up late, show up early. I mean, have like have a dialogue with the people that come here, or things like that. Sort of talk about where you stand on the issues, things like that.
And where are these meetings held?
Crescent Moon Coffee House, and sometimes we vary our meetings sometimes between different coffee houses in Lincoln too. Like the one coming up might be at Meadowlark per se. I might have. You can contact the Coalition for Peace website at myspace.com/Nebraska Coalition for Peace. I believe so, and they will have updates and things like that.
All right, David. What is MySpace?
MySpace is a online community forum. I don't personally have a MySpace account, but I know a lot of people do. It's where they have all kinds of groups, discussions, and things like that. I don't know too much about it, but I hear it's a cool thing.
Does it cost a lot of money?
No. You can get a free account, and I think if you don't even have to be a member to access our site.
Really?
Yeah.
So, what about the old saying that there's no such thing as a free lunch? Is MySpace really free?
I honestly don't know.
Okay. Well, this interview is not about MySpace, but I just know some of our viewers may be interested.
Yeah, you know.
Yes. How do we reach young people like yourself? How do we get more young people involved? If it's the Democratic Party, if it's a group that's interested in war and peace, another group, what's the best way to get young people involved?
Let's see, like simple dialogue. I mean, education, passing out pamphlets, leaflets, things like that, and sort of asking them to, like through student organizations such as Social Justice Club and Young Democrats, and have them sort of advertise through that motivation and things like that. Sort of, it starts with communication and mass media and things like that. Sort of spreading the word is inch by inch, and I think we can grow a mass movement. I honestly believe that. And I think a lot of people can, and it just takes time, numbers, energy, and sort of contacting your congressman and saying, look, we need to go. This was an illegal war in the first place. It was an unjust invasion, and we were all told that Saddam Hussein had something to do with 9/11, and when in fact it's not true, and he said it himself. I mean, there was a press conference not too long ago, and he said, and one of the reporter said, what does Saddam have to do with 9/11? He said, nothing. Nothing. And he said it again. But he said, look, blah, 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 blah. But, and I think that if we sort of start off with a simple dialogue, tell your friends, just say, look, I think you can agree with this. I really think you can agree with this.
What would you say to the person who said we have to have war in order to have peace? A
perpetual war does not create perpetual peace. That's exactly what I say, and I will explain that. And I would say, look, war does not create peace, because I mean the fact is that using Iraq as an example again, I mean we started off as a war. It started off with an invasion in March 2003. I mean March 19th, 2003, I believe, and with bombs, destruction, mayhem, the works. And we went to topple the government of Saddam Hussein. And look where we are now. Do we have peace? I don't think so, unless I've been under a rock for the last about 20 years. 17.
As you've gotten more involved in the Coalition for Peace and other groups working for peace, what kind of people are in these organizations?
All kinds of people. We have a very diverse background, very diverse group. I mean, you know, if anything from a, you know, we don't have anybody of like a conservative disposition yet, but if you want to come and have an effective dialogue with us, by all means. But we have anyone from Democrats, leftists, Greens, socialists, anything like that. Anybody can come, black, white, whatever. Just.
And these meetings are at 2 o'clock.
2 o'clock.
At the Crescent Moon Coffee Shop, unless there's a Husker game.
Unless there's a Husker game.
And then they're held at Meadowlark.
Yeah, I believe.
Because parking isn't so good downtown during a Husker game.
No.
So these people, this is not a bunch of, you know, rope-haired, jobless hippies.
No. Well, there's a few, but you don't have to necessarily be a rope-haired jobless hippie.
Okay, well that's just a stereotype sometimes.
It's just a stereotype, yeah.
Activist.
I mean, I cut my hair short.
Well, good. You said that there's groups, like Democrats, Greens, Independents, leftists, socialists. Now, how do all these people get along on this issue? I mean, what is so important about peace?
I mean, peace is the end of violence, corruption. It's the end of mass death. I mean, anyone can agree with that. I mean, obviously, anyone can agree with that. I just think that if we create effective dialogue, if we just on this mainstream notion of peace, and just peace on earth, peace in the environment, peace on, and just ending perpetual peace against perpetual war and things like that. And I think we can finally agree that, finally come together and say, look, this one needs to happen, and this one needs to stop.